Welcome back, VidHeads. We're updating our a6400 settings where we were talking about trying to get color corrected skin tones right out of camera. But I kind of altered this a little bit. I've got some updated settings for you guys, and I have some samples right after this. Welcome back. If you've been around this channel any length of time, you know this channel is all about iron sharpening iron, and we all taking our skill to the next level. If you're all right with that, go ahead and hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell, because I don't want you guys to miss anything that may end up helping you. With that being said, you know I'm Aaron Jones. I'm your big brother, and I got your back. I'm glad to be back with you guys. After my last video with the a6400 settings, I took ill over the holiday, and I'm glad to announce that I'm back. I have recovered, and man, it was crappy. It was a crappy experience, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But what I want to say to you guys, make sure you take this coronavirus seriously. Make sure you're washing your hands, make sure you're doing social distancing, and make sure you get tested, because you don't want to be asymptomatic where you may be spreading it around and unknowingly. So with that being said, let's get back to the video. What I did was I updated the settings for the a6400. Remember, we were talking about trying to get the skin tones correct right out of camera. Well, since that video, I got a comment from ItsDannyFTW, and so he had stated, why use the BT 2020 color gamut? Because it's, you know, it's a larger color gamut. It provides more color as opposed to the Rec709. By using the Rec709 with these settings, it's less editing in post, which he is correct. He brought up a really good point. But in my case, that was my first go at it, and that was a starting point at the BT 2020 for me. And I did not get a chance to do any updates with those settings because, of course, I took ill. And so now I'm back on the saddle, and it's Danny. I appreciate your comment, and I went ahead and I used the Rec709, and I took it to work, and I did some filming. So with this sequence, I mixed up the Rec709 and the BT 2020 so that you guys can see the difference between the two gamuts. Yeah, so that's mixing them up. And so in this sequence, I just shot straight Rec709, but I made a little tweak in the red color phase. Also, I left detail at 0 instead of -7. And I want you guys to see how this actually turned out. yeah, I'm pretty proud of these settings. I really like the way it makes my subject look alive. And so what I'm saying about the color corrected skin tones is that the skin tones, when they're color corrected, as opposed to these settings, they look a lot more dull. Check this out. So basically what I want to show you guys is when I color correct the skin tones, I'm not really happy with the skin tones and the way it looks. It looks a little bit more dull than I want it to look. And I imagine that's the difference between Canon colors and Sony colors and Arri colors and all that. It's basically about preference. It's basically subjective. And so when I was going through this whole process, I found that I like it the way my settings are as opposed to color corrected. So this right now is the way my settings are. And so color corrected looks like that. You see how it looks a little bit more duller, but this skin tone is color corrected. So basically it's on the skin tone line. So my next, you see the skin tone? This is color corrected skin tone. And it's not, it looks dull to me. And I really like it the way the settings are. And see, these are the settings. See, it has a little bit more fleshly look and it looks a little bit more alive to me. See, it looks a little bit more alive. So when I correct it, see that? It just looks duller. And so I'm a big fan of these settings right now. And I'm loving the way that it actually looks. Let's go to another clip. Look at the skin tone. Look how he looks alive here. You see a little red in his nose and his lips, and it just looks like he has some life. Once I correct the skin tone, you see that? You see how the skin kind of goes more of a duller look as opposed to our settings. And so I really like that flush look. Also, I think it's the last clip here. You see how much life it looks like he has in his face because of the flesh look. But when we actually correct the skin tone, see how much duller it looks. But this is actually color corrected skin tone. And so I'm just more of a fan of these settings, because to me it just looks like they have more life in them. See, now this is our settings here. So I just wanted to make sure that I share that with you guys. So I'm not really, I kind of abandoned the whole color correction for skin tone right out of camera, and I kind of altered and went towards going for a more lively look. And again, it's more subjective, and again, it's basically people's opinion. But for me, I love the way it has my subjects look more alive as opposed to the dull look of corrected skin tone. Well, there you have it. What do you think about these settings? For me, I really like them. I do not have to do any editing in post when it comes to color, unless I'm trying to do something more creative or something grading or something like that. But I think these colors are looking great. They're popping, got good contrast, got good color pop right out of camera. And if you ask me, it's very usable without any editing. Well, what do you guys think? Why don't you comment down below? Let me know what you think about these particular settings. I'm going to continue to try to massage these settings and try to get certain things in perspective, but I think we're at a great starting point. And don't forget, when you use these settings, make sure you use the hashtag so that I can see your work, I can see what you have filmed, and so we can collaborate together and see how we can get these settings just right for us. But I believe we're at a great starting point, and it's ItsDannyFTW. Thank you for your comment, because I was able to go a little bit further and test out the Rec709 gamut with these settings, and I really like the Rec709. At first I didn't, because the DT2020 had a lot more color to offer, but with a few tweaks, I think it's looking really good right now. So as you guys can see, the red color phase, I brought down from +5 to +3. I got the details at 0 instead of -7. And of course, instead of BT 2020, we got Rec709. So those are the adjustments so far, and I think they're looking great right out of camera. But I'm anxious to see what you guys think about them. I want you guys to put it in your a6400 and try them out and see how it turns out for you. That's where it's really gonna tell the difference for me. So make sure you guys comment, make sure you guys try these settings out, and make sure you come back, give me some feedback, and let me know how it worked for you. Well, until the next time, I'm Aaron Jones, I'm your big brother, I got your back. Make sure you go out and you film something and kill it.